our consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. On to informational item.
Yes, that is the John Belcher Scholarship Committee, and that we will need volunteers for to work through the scholarship applications for the John Belcher Scholarship. So if you should get information to Pam if you're willing to serve on that, and then we will put a process together for scholarship applications to come your way.
Great, thank you. All right, on to our action items. Food service meat bid.
Yes, I'd like to invite Caitlin to the podium. She'll walk us through the approval process for local fresh beef patties from Springfield Grocer Company Food Service.
Yes. Okay. Our department is always striving to provide our students with high-quality products. I am very excited to present this opportunity of partnering with Herzog Meat because our students will be able to have access to local, fresh beef patties that are minimally processed. Their beef patties are high quality and packaged well. This is a wonderful opportunity to support a local vendor that is well known in our community. Partnering with Herzog will provide a learning opportunity for students as Herzog is more than happy to host field trips and can cater a visit for any age. Students can be exposed to where their food is coming from. If approved, we will promote Herzog Cheeseburger Day in the schools as well as on our social media platforms so families can anticipate when those cheeseburger days will be coming. Supporting local is an initiative DESE is promoting. I have applied for a local food for schools grant. The maximum award we are eligible for is $17,000. I've had conversations with our DESE coordinator and worked with a farm business counselor on our grant and feel confident that we'll be awarded some funds. SGC Food Service was the only bid received to provide Herzog meat for the 23-24 school year. Based on our working relationship with SGC and their ability to service a nearby district, I feel confident that they'll be able to support our needs. Pricing is $4.19 per pound, and that is approximately $1.05 per serving.
Where are they located?
They're located just right in between us and Lee Summit.
All right, any other questions? Is there a motion to approve the bid for local fresh beef patties from Springfield Grocer Company Food Service?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Thank you. On to the commencement ceremony 2024.
Yes, Dr. Pettengill is going to come to the podium and walk us through a process that we discussed 2 weeks ago at our work session and the outcome that was from a bidding process on staging for our commencement ceremony.
Very good. As the board is aware, the last few years we have held our graduation ceremonies at our Panther Stadium, and I think that's went over very, very well. It's pretty neat that we're able to offer a location that's close to our families, and I think it's been just a great experience for all involved. This year, as the board's aware, we did venture out and search and look at other venues for, just to make sure that we have all of the options in front of us. We looked at multiple different venues in the Kansas City area. In the end, after working with the board through the work session, walking through some of these options, we also put out an RFP, a request for proposals, for staging companies that would put on a production with lights and sound and assist in putting on a ceremony at our own stadium. In the end, the administrative recommendation to the board is to once again, along with working with Scott Bacon, he also agrees with this recommendation as the high school principal, to host graduation at Panther Stadium once again for the class of 2024. We had 2 bids come out, and Stage Pro was the lowest and best bid that we received. That is the same company that we've used the last few years. But I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Is it safe to say that I think we agreed between you all and the board that this is something that will be discussed much more frequently than it was in the past?
Absolutely. This is something we will continue to investigate, always make sure that all of the available options are on the table for the board. It is a 1-year contract. We did not do a multiple year with the company.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the bid for graduation ceremony for the class of 2024 from Stage Pro in the amount of $30,000?
So
Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion or comments, questions? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you for that work.
Just got to pray for no rain.
Right.
Well, that hasn't happened yet, but we've found a way to have a great experience regardless of the weather.
All right, on to the approval for some 10-passenger vans.
As the board is very aware, we are dealing with a driver shortage nationally, regionally, and specifically here in Raymore-Peculiar. One option that we've done to help mitigate that concern and make sure that we have available transportation for kids is to purchase 4 10-passenger vans. A recent law in Missouri allows staff members of a school district to operate a vehicle with students in it if it's 10 seat belts or less, including the driver. So we were able to procure 4 of 10-passenger vans with Masters Transportation in Belton. So the recommendation is to move forward with the purchase of those vans.
Are these brand new vans?
They are all 4 brand new vans.
And have we talked through with insurance?
Absolutely. We've got 3 in service as of yesterday and today that we're already utilizing. So they're insured through Music and Gallagher Bassett, along with fully licensed, and we even have the RP logos on them already.
I'll remind the board that this is something that I expressed to you a couple weeks ago, that we had to do an emergency purchase, and because these vans are not going to be held for us, and given where we're at with our current transportation system, we're doing all we can to provide a additional capacity for our coaches and for our teachers to use these vans to transport kids. So in a perfect world, we wouldn't have to do this, but this is one of the things that we can control, and we want to be in a position where we do control it.
It specifically allows us to offer some of our smaller teams, swim team, tennis team, that are going to different events. So we don't have to put additional pressure on our route drivers to also come up with activity routes at the same time. So they're going to be used daily.
Well, thankful we got ahead of the union strike so that we did able to get them.
That's true.
All right, is there a motion then to approve the purchase of 4 10-passenger vans for Masters Transportation in the amount of $292,680? Is there a second?
Second.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. On to vehicle maintenance.
Good evening. All right. Through the RFP process over the last couple of years, we have struggled to purchase some more maintenance vehicles for the fleet due to procurement issues, vehicles not being readily available for us. This July, we were fortunate enough to find one at a local dealer. We were able to get that purchased. We put out a lot of feelers throughout the community again this spring and this summer. We were able to find a lightly used vehicle that is a 23 that only had about 6,500 miles on it. So we have gone ahead and purchased that one, and we would like to go ahead and seek approval for planning on that.
And what type of vehicle is it again?
This was just a truck. It was a Chevy, is a 23 Chevy 2500 regular cab work truck.
Were they able to give us any warranty on that?
They were, yes. Yep.
All right, is there a motion then to approve the purchase of 2023 Chevy truck in the amount of $46,371?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Can you get them painted like Ray-Pec colors?
We will not. We will get our logos and our stickers on there, though.
All right, on to the Performing Arts Center acoustical shells.
I think this was actually listed for Mr. Dobson to present, and I'm stealing it from him. This is something I'm very excited about. I've shared it with our performing arts staff at the high school, and they couldn't be more excited. When you go through a design process, one of the some of the tough decisions are, it's called VEing, or value engineering, where you have, when things come in more expensive than you have the budget for, you have to start cutting things out of the system. And one of the most painful cuts that we had was to cut out the sound shells. We did design it so they could be added at a later date. Now we're at a position that the 9th grade center is closed out, the lead center is coming to a completion, and we were out of the ground with the Performing Arts Center. If you haven't seen that, it looks amazing. So at this point, sought some approval through Dr. Slagle and talking with some ideas. We're in a position that we can now add that back into the project, and it would be much cheaper to do it now than it would be to add it in a few years. So excited to bring a recommendation to add those shells back into the PAC project.
Brian, I want to make sure board understands this is still a Proposition S expenditure.
Yes, we're trying, this was all intended to fit into the Prop S budget. Okay, so this allows it to be more than just a theater for, I mean, our theater's amazing, but this makes it much more usable for our choirs and our bands with the sound. When you have a 55-foot fly loft above where you're presenting, you lose so much sound, and this is a way to push the sound back out into the audience.
I was going to ask what they are exactly, and
So, yeah, they're the big white shells. They will force the sound back out into the audience. So you'll have some roof components that get flown in the fly loft, along with some walls that partially are flown and partially are moved in and out.
This was not a very popular withdrawal from the project originally, but I think it was the safest thing to do at the time. Now that we're toward the end of the project and we know where we're at overall, that this is something we can put back in.
So, and one of the reasons, even though it was so painful, that we chose to do this as a cut is because we could add it back in later. And I'm very excited that we can add it in time to be part of the opening.
Excellent.
when is the opening?
It started we started on the project and broke ground in January of 2023, and it's supposed to be 15 months if everything goes perfectly, and it has so far.
Yeah, we're on schedule.
Which would be April, May timeframe? Is that what we're looking at?
So, yeah. I'm hoping for spring break, but the project manager there, Cherie, gets a little nervous when I start putting hard deadlines on her. So, but she'll still hit them.
I have no problem putting a hard deadline on her.
Well, thank you for staying on top of this for us and taking the hard cuts when we need to. All right, is there a motion to approve adding the acoustical shells for the Performing Arts Center in the amount of $316,296? Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. And just as a reminder, we've talked about these things for many, many months, so none of this was new information for us. Well, yeah. Okay, you get a little bit of a leeway there. All right, on to the Lead Center roof improvement.
All right. Again, good evening. All right. So we're very excited to be in the building that you're in this evening. We have been in this building now for approximately 14 months and couldn't be happier with it. Through the scope of the work here, we have noticed that we do have several leaks in the building that we would like to go ahead and get addressed. This is a project that we've been looking at for quite a while. In recent light, we are going to go ahead and move it up the priority list and try to get this project completed sooner than expected. We went ahead and solicited, partnering with Trimco, we solicited bids for the replacement of the roof. We got back 4 bidders, and we are recommending the low bid tonight from Cornell Roofing and Sheet Metal for the labor portion of this bid. As you read your board packet, it is a little confusing. Then there's a separate component that would be for the material. The district has chosen in a cost-saving effort to purchase the materials direct, utilizing the co-op, and you purchase those materials directly from the vendor through Trimco, which will be a separate component here. So it will be kind of, I believe, 2 action items. Oh, 1 action item, excuse me. So it would be the purchase of the materials and then utilizing the labor through our low bid. And we are asking for a 10% contingency on this project due to the amount of complexity of this project when it does come to some of the re-roof. This one will be a complete re-roof and tear off. We have not had to do that in the last couple of years. So
We remind the board that this was forecasted to be, had to be done at some time. Given that we have this nice new building here, the patching and stuff that we did originally when we opened this place, probably has a short lifespan, and we knew that going in. So we have moved that to the priority list, and probably will save the district money over time from waiting 2 or 3 years down the road to do this thing. So we are electing to do this now, or at least bring it in front of you to do this now.
Well, I think we would all agree protecting our investment that we've made into this building is a priority, so. All right.
When would we do this, Scott?
our hope is to start this project within the next probably 6 to 8 weeks, with a completion before summer school, so that way the building will be fully occupied fully able to be occupied over the summer school for our youngsters for summer camp. And we'll be doing the majority of the work on night and weekends.
Nights and weekends, okay.
That is correct.
Okay, I was wondering how that was all.
Over the next several months, over the winter and into the spring, the project was bid and estimated knowing that it was going to be night and weekend work, and any time that does allow on non-student days or during sometimes we can make a little more noise up on the roof, but majority of it will be done on night and weekends with as little impact to the building as possible.
Scott and Brian, thank you for thinking that through and making sure that we can get this done in timely fashion so that we can still have the robust summer school programs that we want, as well as take care of our investment as well.
I believe we can also avoid some of the summer high cost of roofing in the summer as well.
All right, is there a motion then to approve the purchase of roofing materials from Trimco WTI in the amount of $312,909.20 to approve the bid for labor for Cornell Roofing and Sheet Metal in the amount of $409,550 with a 10% contingency for any unforeseen issues? Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. On to a painting bid.
Yes, all right. As it sounds crazy to think about, Central Office is coming on its 20th year of operation, and we have went ahead and decided that we think it's best to go ahead and give the building some fresh colors, take some of the dark colors potentially out of the building and bring a fresh new look to it. So we went ahead and seeked bids throughout the local community, and we felt it best to partner with the co-op moving forward with CertaPro Painters out of Lenexa as a large national organization, and they have provided the best comprehensive bid to move forward with. I'm happy to answer questions on that one. And this will be painting the entire facility interior.
How will this disrupt that office?
We are working through that. We're probably going to be painting in sections and through departments, trying to utilize non-school days as much as possible, and staff collaboration days when staff is maybe not in the building or can work from other locations in the district is our hope.
Excellent.
As long as Dan's not disrupted, we'll be okay.
I will say those purple walls in the old boardroom, I don't think many will be sad to see those go.
Don't believe so.
Pink, purple, you know. All right, is there a motion to approve the bid for painting the Administrative Services Center from CertaPro Painters in the amount of $57,863.87? Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. I feel like kind of like Bob Barker, Vanna White here tonight. All right, on to committee reports. Well, I apologize. I missed my first one tonight on the substance abuse. I was landing back in Central Time Zone, so I missed that one. My apologies. I said, okay. All right, moving on to the superintendent's update.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, thank you for the change in venue tonight. For those that are in the audience, the board attended the World Fest tonight, which is a celebration of our English language learner program at Creekmore Elementary School. Fantastic evening of meeting some of our youngest learners, as well as sampling the food from their cultures, and had a great time tonight. So board, thank you for being there. I appreciate that. Staff, you as well. It was an excellent opportunity to celebrate everyone in our community, and that necessitated us moving this board meeting back to 7:30, and we changed the location just because it's a little bit closer to Creekmore Elementary School. A couple of things that I want to celebrate with you. First of all, we have a student who may be here next month, I believe, to receive recognition from the board. She was named the second place world winner in the 2023 Optimus International Speech Competition. That was Sav Jordan. Now get this, she was awarded a $5,000 scholarship as a Mid-American regional winner, $10,000 scholarship as the second place world champion. In all, she received $17,500 in scholarships for being a worldwide orator. So she's outstanding. She was the one that spoke at our groundbreaking at the Performing Arts Center. So talented individual. We'll celebrate her hopefully next month, if not the month after. But very proud of her. Our softball team is doing extremely well. I'm looking back. I was with Dr. Meek earlier tonight. They were playing Liberty North. but they're 22 and 1 overall. So I just want to celebrate those young ladies and their accomplishments thus far. Outstanding work. Some very talented, hardworking individuals on that team. Also wanted to turn back the clock a little bit. Monday, September 18th, we celebrated the 9th grade center dedication. And that was going to be a great building for students, has got rave reviews, and couldn't be happier about how that has come out. Again, to our business partners, that building was built in a 15-month time frame, coming from out of the ground to nothing to a finished product. So something to be very proud of there. Our first teacher collaboration day was September the 5th. Board, thank you for those. I hear nothing but good things from our teachers about those days and about what it means to them to be able to look through data and plan instruction effectively. So we do appreciate that. And the last thing before I talk about transportation is right there, substitute teachers, Dr. Hatfield. So since the board made the alteration in our substitute teacher pay, we have had well over 60 new applications for substitute teachers. And that is going to go a long way to helping us bridge some gaps that we experienced last year over the cold and flu season. And so very excited about that. The unintended consequence of this was every time I stick my head in the HR department, they are flying around there with several new applicants, getting them onboarded, because it's more than just filling out an application. There's an approval process, certification process, that sort of thing that they have to go through. So they've been working really hard. Kudos to you and your staff, Dr. Hatfield, for making that work, and thank you, board, for providing that funding. I want to make some brief comments about our transportation system, because I think that's been a topic of conversation across our community, as well it should be. And we have talked about this as a board team for the past 2 times that we've been together. The majority of the transportation system is running well, but there are several areas that are not, and those effects and subsequent ripple effects from the areas that are not are far short of our expectations. First Student clearly knows of our disappointment with portions of their service so far. But I want to stress that this takes nothing away from the valued bus drivers who are consistently running their routes successfully, and we are very appreciative of those drivers and wish we had more of them. They are working very hard, and many are running additional routes beyond their original assignments. The First Student office staff has also been working a substantial amount of time trying to make ends meet and solve issues. As a school district, we have not sat on the sidelines of just hoping this gets better. To date, we have done the following to be a part of the solution, because our end goal is to maintain free busing for all students. Just earlier tonight, you approved the emergency purchase of 4 10-passenger vans in an attempt to alleviate after-school and during-the-day academic and activity trip pressures we put on First Student. You as a board just approved that purchase, and I thank you for that support. We have adjusted schedules where we can and are examining the possibility of a 3-tiered start time system. I don't want to alarm anybody there. We haven't decided upon doing it, but Dr. Pettengill, Dr. Volker, Dr. Barr, and team are going to be looking at that and bringing you some ideas, if it looks feasible, about going to a 3-tiered system instead of a 2-tiered system. Doing so, again, alleviates the pressure on the number of drivers you need at any one time. The ripple effect on that is that changes the schedule. So we got to figure out, how we want to proceed in this area. So we are looking at that. Nothing has been decided. We have opened up more communication opportunities using our system for First Student to correspond with parents. That's important because communication has been somewhat the missing ingredient to a large of our conversations with our parents, and we want to make sure that we are doing what we can to help First Student help themselves. First Student has also recently changed management at our location. And that new person brings many years of experience as a successful terminal manager out of Columbia, Missouri. And it is not a secret, but our own staff has pitched in to ride buses, provide rides, and do whatever we can to help. I was in a conversation earlier tonight finding out that a couple of our principals jumped in a couple of those school vans and took kids home this afternoon when a bus could not meet its obligation to provide transportation. So we're doing what we can. The labor pool shortage is a big issue region-wide, not only with bus transportation, but across many industries. We'll continue to do what we can to help solve this issue, and I know First Student is well aware of our disappointment with some of their service. As we continue to work on this, we will continue to bring ideas to the board on how to improve our current situation moving forward. I was recently yesterday in Liberty with a bunch of other superintendents. This is a region-wide problem. It's not isolated to us. However, we are responsible to help solve this problem, and that's what we're going to try to do. So with our community's help and understanding, as well as the board's help and understanding, we're going to continue to make headway on this, and I'm hopeful we can turn the corner here soon. be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you for the work and the time and the effort that Dr. Patel put into this.
Thank you.
Agreed. All right, on to Board of Education comments. Well, I will just say I was actually in Washington, D.C. the last few days, meeting with our legislators at the federal level, advocating for public school. And it's not from what goes on in our district of the good things that are going on as we're up there talking to them, advocating for public education. So thank you for all you do for our kiddos. All right, on to calendar of events. October 12th is our next board work session at 6 p.m. October 26th is our next regular board meeting, 6 p.m. closed, 7 p.m. open, and we are recessed to closed. Thank you all for being here tonight.